Mm, mm, Namaste. That was a deep one. We highly recommend GAIA TV. Heaps of everything, anything to do with anything from nature and yoga and awareness and the mysteries to aliens and outer space. It's got like, it's all your Nassim Haramein, your Bruce Lipton. It's awareness TV, basically. I think you can get a free trial sometimes they offer for a month. If not, it's about $90 for a year's subscription, which works out a lot cheaper than Netflix or some of the others. So yeah, we can highly recommend it. And we just before this, the synchronicities that have happened. So next we're going to be reading the first part because we've done the introduction and we're back to the Book of Spirit. So we're going to be reading the first part of that, of part 1, Fire. And it goes on to something else, but we won't get into that now. So he did a premiere because we've ordered his patch tarot like 3 times. We've definitely paid for it twice. We haven't received anything. We've attempted to go back into the finances over the past to look at it. We've contacted them a couple of times. But it's different altars that do different stuff of this, and it all got a bit much. So it looks like we're going to be going back into that again. But we've got his patch tarot book, and we've got all his printouts. So there's this wisdom wheel that we use a lot. I think there's a picture of that, which shows the parts of the brain, the 4 quadrants. And the masculine energy, the feminine energy, the experiential, the doing, how it relates to the Arcana, major Arcana cards in there, because all of these are just tools to decipher the language of energy and what language and what energy is what. It's symbology, symbols, pictures, colours, because at the end of the day, words and letters are just a symbol that has been collectively agreed to make up a letter, to make up a word. And with what we've known for ages anyway, but they don't mind. Oh, sorry, we'll leave it there. Sorry. I think our collarbone's sorting itself out. We broke it accidentally cycling down steps 2 months before we were going to cycle John O'Groats to Land's End. No, 2 weeks before we were going to cycle John O'Groats to Land's End. And it was a perfect break. But the hospital that we went to locally in Cornwall neglected, forgot to tell us not to give us the leaflet and tell us not to lay down. So it displaced within the first week and fused together. So rather than being perfect and fusing back like that, it fused together like this, which meant it shortened it. And yoga is amazing. And this is one of the gifts of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, hypermobility, the ability to sublux and dislocate. So the body's shape-shifting, shape-morphing, rewiring itself, restructuring itself back into alignment, which has to start from the bones. Not an easy journey, painful, but this is our gift. All of our labels we see the gifts of now, and this is our purpose in life. And by the end of it, we're going to have a beautifully, fabulously aligned body. And all that past trauma and emotions that reside in the connective tissue, the fascia, will all be released and cleared. And we'll actually be able to start living life with conscious awareness and our heart. Interesting how it's been a 22 journey and the 22 cards in the major arcana. The beauty of our dissociative identity disorder. The ones that are locked inside, that have planned all this out. Not getting into that, it's a bit mind-boggling. The beauty of the autism, the ability of the multi-dimensional layered thinking, and being thinking out of the box to the average. But then we're the ones that think out of the boxes, out of those boxes, the anomaly of the anomalies. The fibromyalgia, the ability to make new pathways that aren't the optimum pathways, so you get more pain, but you still are able to manage to function. But then it means there's a lot of unwinding to do. And that's to do with the, there's the optimum flow of energy if you've got your optimal alignment in the physical structure body and the energetic structure of the body. I don't know, but I think it's clockwise for tightening and anti-clockwise for loosening. But because the North and South Pole, the Northern Hemisphere and the Southern Hemisphere are different, I can imagine it's the opposite down there to up here. Well, it is the opposite down there to up here on the plug holes and the water. But what we mean by that is our internal worlds and our external worlds are intrinsically interconnected. So if the external world, the way the water is going down the plug hole is clockwise, then, and it's a very simplistic view, basic view, and it won't relate to the whole because every person has their own individual makeup, their own different experiences, perceived positive and negative, their own generational experiences. So if, let's say, you are someone that is from the area that you've lived in and your whole generational family line is from that area too, and they say that a lot of people come from Africa. So let's put this theory to Africa. And let's say the water in the plug hole goes down one way in Africa. You've got your pure blood from Africa. Then the rotation of your energetic, rainbow energetic field will be the opposite to the way it goes down the water. But we have a superficial layer of muscles, the exterior, the skin, the largest organ in the body. Which is why it's so sad that women have to shave their hair, because each hair follicle is a hole, it's an orifice in the body. It's like your cat whiskers. It's a sensory, it draws in information. Hence why from some cultures, it's believed you shave your head, you shave off your hair, you shave off your ego, and you get more spiritual energy come in. But yet you go into the Rasta culture and it's about, and some also Indians, the shaved heads, I suppose, maybe Tibetan, Buddhism, Chinese, we're not more. Yeah, we're not, sorry. We want to bring in all of that when we talk, but that's not who's talking now. It's the ones that are talking now are doing covert DID, feeding language to other ones that are in communication to those ones. And the ones that I wanted to bring out the information are the conscious eyes that gain the theory. They're the ones that have been living through life so far and functioning. But then to hide the DID from other people, there's been the covert DID and the teams that work together to pretend to be the conscious eyes that others don't notice, and the conscious eyes don't notice because we wouldn't be able to cope with it due to our belief systems, our rigid belief systems. Because EDS is extreme hypermobility, but it's also extreme rigid tenseness, and same with autism. But right from a young age, we've supported ourselves only. We didn't get help with our homework because me and my father were too similar, and he couldn't handle it. So we've basically, on a multitude of levels, survived on our own and figured out our own way of doing things, which is very different from the collective and society and the average, and even from a lot of things that we've read. Hence the DID and different people reading different things, taking bits of information from different things that resonate to them, finding the common denominator that brings these different things that resonate with different alters to bring it into one whole package, so that we can then get that whole package of the neurological pathways in the brain to function as a whole, to bring in integration and balance and co-consciousness. And we're DID is the extreme end of post-traumatic stress disorder, complex PTSD. But everyone has this. Everyone is on a spectrum. You can always get a spectrum. You can put everyone on that spectrum. They may be in the central pivot in the middle, so you don't end up feeling those extremes of either side, or forward or back or up and down, depending which angle, which degree you're coming at it from. And all the different methods and tools of tarot, archetypes. I can't go into too many more now because they're just kind of connected. Rewind. Africa. So superficial muscle, and then you've got your deep muscle, and then you've got the muscle in between that connects the two. So there's that wave continued, but it's that figure of 8 wave. So it goes down into the figure of 8 and then goes into the fractal smaller figure of 8 until it just goes down. But then you have in your center your organs, and your organs are all muscles. And it's interesting because yoga, the way the Western world know it, from my education and learning from doing a 4-year an Iyengar yoga teacher training course twice, still not passing, but we passed the bit we were meant to pass, which was the personal practice, because we had the teaching bit dusted, but we didn't, or done and dusted, I don't know what the phrase is, but the personal practice we didn't. And on the day, we did attempt to email them and explain the situation to the best of our ability at the time, but we hadn't found out about the Ehlers-Danlos syndrome then, or the autism, or the DID. The only thing we knew about was the processing language disorder, which we gained when we were 19. So people never understand us anyway, because of our unique way of expressing and using words. Our unique, grand ability of surviving. Not showing the deep pain within, because we'd grown up not to show it, because it kind of wasn't accepted. But that's okay, that was our purpose. And our purpose now is to share, because there's other people in similar situations. And yes, this was our purpose, to have these experiences, but it's to share so that we can learn from them, so that other people don't make these same experiences, so that we can lessen other people's pain. Yes, other people's feelings are their responsibility. But if they can be supported to transcend those deep, dark, negative thinking patterns, to help them transcend, because they have a lot of vulnerabilities that makes it exceptionally hard for them to transcend, then why not be compassionate and support these people rather than just go, no, they're your feelings, you take control of them, you back off. If it's being contradictory and unserving and not good for your own well-being, then yes, but you can deliver it in a manner that's a lot easier. We had someone say to us when we were in the psych ward, they're your feelings, they're your responsibility. That's really not appropriate to say to someone in a psych ward. But it's what we needed again at the time, because we learned by being trapped in the deep end. We learned from the pain and the darkness and the struggles. But we've learned now about knowledge and belief systems and Bruce Lipton and everything. And we're not going to learn from pain and struggles and any of that anymore. We're choosing the easy option of life. We're doing a multitude of Benjamin Buttons. And this is our journey to get there. We would have never agreed to it. I hate being seen and heard. But it's expanding those comfort zones, not breaking those comfort zones. 2 steps forward, 1 back. 2 steps forward, 1 back. You're never going back to the starting point, but you're never breaking it. We learn information, but there's a lot of information coming in. So we go to sleep, and in our sleep time, our dream time, where the conscious mind isn't involved, it's abstract. The pruning of the garden of our brain comes along to get rid of the information that doesn't serve us at that time, so that it doesn't overload us, so it doesn't stress us. But our body needs a certain amount of stress, because the body, the biomechanical functioning of the body works on a tension, a stress, relaxation, stretch method, slack, tension and slack, stress and relaxation. And it's the balance between the two. We read now. So just one more, please. Okay. See, now it's mirrors human experience and what we've learned about our patterning and from each other. They're tired. We can't go into that information too much. That's going down that mental thought pattern rabbit hole too much. Please, can we get out what we want to get out? We're at those stepping stones, those stages before balance and alignment and integration and co-consciousness. But we're not quite ready to go there yet, so we have to rewind from the theory, do more breath work and body work to integrate the theory, the knowledge, into the body, to embody it through movement, through sound, through breath. Breath is the yoking, the union between one's mind and body. Although for us, the mind is part of consciousness, and there's a mind in each cell. There's a mind in a cellular system. It's the collective mind. Sorry. The synchronicities, 7-minute read. Our lucky numbers are 7 and 8, 7 for finances and travel. We're doing the inward travel, the journey of inward discovery. By Christine Aprile, with an E on, April with an E on the end. Our mummy's name's Christine. She was born in April and she died in April. And it was written on April the 1st, 2019. And 7's a very auspicious number. And it connects us to Bitcoin, because the elliptic curve formula for Bitcoin is the same for everything, but then it's got one integer depending on what the curve is, and for Bitcoin it's 7. Transformation, spirituality and divination. We love the synchronicities. Journey of the tarot. How major. Can we do more change patterning? Where do we change patterning from? Do we do the opposite down to there? Do we do the opposite down to there? Or do we do the opposite on the back at the top? Or on some more? I don't understand. Is that it? I think that's it, isn't it? We function on sonic sounding like bats and dolphins, I've learnt. Don't quite understand it all yet, but that's one of our major gifts. Yeah, it's all going. And the spiral pattern we talk about is connected to the way that your intestines spiral and function and integrate together in similar patterns and spirals and twists of the way the brain does. And the way the brain works is because all the information is coming in, so it compresses the brains and gives all those wiggly wormies. And so we have to work from the inside out to expand the brain from the inside out to be able to counterbalance the pressure of the unseen energies coming in for the unseen energies going out. And it's the same with the core. And yoga strengthens you from your limbs of action, your feet, your hands, your arms, to make you strong, to be able to handle that influx of energy when you reach your center, commonly known as the Kundalini energy. But it's not working for a lot of us collectives at the moment, with our central nervous system disorders. We need to take the oldest and the newest form of medicine, shaking medicine, but in the subtle energetic body, the micro movement. Panting, shaking the organs from the inside out, ever so gently. Sounding, not caring what the sound like, just letting out the emotion. Because the thin threads to your fingers and your toes, access through your vocal cords to your eyes, enable you to see. How you see, give you your projection. Perspective. Perspective and projection are linked from our understanding the way the words work there, because we are backwards. The wiring in our body was backwards, and we have all the signs, we have all the experiences to put together, and this is us putting it together. As the thing at the start says, we are narrating our story in our unique way, to the best of each of our abilities, and some of us don't talk. And I don't quite know still how it's unfolding, and I won't remember this, because it's not the eye, it's the chunks of the memory that will be out later, and that's why we watch them back. Tama. 30, 38, 34, 34, 34 makes 7. Male, female. Female 3, 4 male. But 4 female can number Mother Gaia. Everything got both. More than twice. 34 bottom of thigh. Not thigh on leg. Thigh circle, line through it, 1 and 0 together. The number Patch Tarot does for his Fool card. The child gave through the adventure in life. Not very fun adventure sometimes. But that's just a belief system. And when we change our perspective, we change our perception. And we started taking extra maths homework home when we were 7. One of our soothers and our comforts. I think that must be the autism again. Can we read this? It's great though. This is the we go to read something, and it's not really about what we're reading, it's about what needs to come out. And it's normally done on our Facebook page, and that relates to the younger ones, and YouTube relates to older ones. So we're growing up, we're making connections. So that's amazing. So thank you to everyone so much who subscribed, who watches, who shares, and especially who likes these videos. It's not whether you actually like it or not. And it doesn't have to be about us. It's always about the person watching at the end of the day. It's why we like everything, even if we don't like it. Because it has a reflection inside to us. Journey. Of the tarot. How major arcana meanings mirror the soul. And up at the top, this story behind the tarot major arcana mirrors human experience, GAIA. And we printed this on the 27th of the 9th, 2020. And it's from www.gaia.com, an article, Journey of the Tarot, blah, 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 blah. Burps, farts, they're all releasing unserving, lower vibrational energies. It doesn't mean that all lower vibrational energy is unserving. It's not about constantly accessing our higher self, our super self, and the higher vibrations. It's about absorbing and integrating all the optimal, healthy, resonant vibrations for you in that moment to gain connection, to gain awareness, and then to release what's no longer needed and keep what is. And dance that constant ebb and flow and journey of life. And burps and farts, burps and farts, burps and farts are working on the chemical body, which we think is related to the third chakra and second chakra. First chakra? So it's not related to the first chakra, I don't think. It's related to the second and third, from what our body said there. But the first chakra is the foundation for the second and third to be able to function at their optimal resonance. And the reason we do what we do, no matter how uncomfortable it makes us feel, is because we're using our words, we're using our language, we're talking, we're expressing. We don't have anyone else to do that with. People didn't understand us. People took the rescuer role and we didn't want to be the victim role. We didn't know what we needed. We couldn't express it. So it is just us. But that's what we needed, because we needed to get to know the energy of the altars and just our energy. And another one of our gifts is we mirror the other's internal world, their subconscious. And no one wants to have their dark subconscious mirrored, do they? But believe me, the energy that we mirrored was toned down so much that we never actually caused any harm majorly to anyone. And it used up a lot of our energy to do that until it started killing us, because we had no self-belief. No one had any self-belief in us. We were given opportunities not to be rejected and abandoned again, and we were rejected and abandoned again. And so our autonomic nervous system finally started dying. Feels amazing to die. But smart ass us reprogrammed our mind not to have any outer body experiences. And we couldn't do hospitals. Hospitals are worse than police, but we can't really do police either. And so the co-creation, because people say that the energy flows through them, that the music is not theirs, that the art is not theirs. But it is. The art and the music, when you come from that pure place of passion from the heart and pure potential, the void, the darkness, where all possibilities exist, it is yours. It's the co-creation of your individual expression dancing with source energy that flows through you. So it's not yours from the ego to not be shared and not expressed and not whatever, but it's yours from the heart, your individual expression and source energy flowing through you. And that's our perception of consciousness, and consciousness wanting to express itself in each and every form, to incarnate in human bodies so it can experience through the 5 physical senses on the external world, or through the multitude of the 6th energetic sense and the multitude of senses on the internal world. The mind. And now, seeing as it's 12 o'clock, this might be a long one, it's a live, but we do this for us. And we're in the 12-12 portal. And one of the things that we were going to start doing, but obviously it wasn't meant to be, but then the 108-day reading meditation challenge happened, because we don't do it on our own, but we do it on this. And we want to be authentic with integrity and transparency. And when we're on our own and we don't do stuff because it's too much and it doesn't feel like we're getting anything out of it, and this is the alters that don't love themselves and don't want to nurture themselves, but do want to facilitate others' healing and awareness and growth, and that's why we do it. Before that, we were going to do trauma sounding. So we're just going to do now some sounding for 12 minutes. So you may want to stay along and join in on this sounding meditation. Our wrists have gone into hyperextension. So we're just going to meditate until 12 minutes past 12, because we are in the present moment and we've been constantly meditating for a long time now. Hence why we're in and out of all these altars, living life how we need to live in each and every moment to the best of our ability. Thank you for our cycled experience, giving us the awareness and the understanding that you did, no matter how terrifying, bringing us to our worst fears, not our complete worst fear. I think we're not allowed to say that yet. We will have to say it one day for the health and well-being of ourselves. But I think what we were just going to say would have given away the person that sexually abused us. And we want to rebuild the relationship with the person that sexually abused us. But we're not going to rebuild a relationship with them until they do their own dance with their own shame and guilt, because we believe they were sexually abused. Because they're still too harmful to us at the moment. So it'll either be when we finally reach that place, that destination, one of the many, because the journey is the destination, of indifference, where we don't have the emotional attachment and the way that we react. But I think that's quite a way off at the moment. We've still got a lot to navigate and map. But we will share it eventually, but it won't be out of revenge. And that's why we've kept it in for so long, even still to the detriment of our health. I think we've been told that we have accidentally let it out, but we have done research to find out where we've let it out, to delete it. I know that we did it on one Facebook group once that we thought were private, and then there's people suddenly that we knew from school, so we suddenly deleted that. So we deleted that post. So we have always protected our abuser because we don't want to be revengeful. We don't want to cause them harm because we know that inside them, they are a child that is hurting too. But it is time for them to man up and take responsibility of their feelings and to do their work if they want back in our life. Because together we can put a beautiful story out there of how not to be continued at the moment. Light, more healing than 24. $57.47. 12:20. We may as well wait till 12. We don't wait or no. I think we're going to wait till 12:21. 12:20 it is now. And it just turned into Venus time. And we were in sun time earlier. We're navigating the energies of the moon, the subconscious, grandma moon. We've been living by the moon's frequencies since after the seizures by drinking her water. So we were navigating the human experience, the mirrored soul, the moon's energies, during the astrological planet of the sun, which is also a star, timing of the day. And we exited that into the Venus time, the language of love planet, the divine feminine consciousness energies. In the 12:12 portal of complex stability, starting it at 12 o'clock. 1, new beginnings. 2, patience, balance, choices. Together equaling 3, expanded creativity, creative expansion. 3, the start of the Tesla code. Circular system logic. 3, the 6 and 9, Tesla code. The points of balance and order within the supposed random and chaos. Ending at 12:21. 21, a mirror of 12. 21, the top of the number on over 34. The golden ratio. Phi, the 0 and the 1 together. The masculine and the feminine together. Union, marriage. Of the 10th cranial nerve, left and right vagus nerve. Left, the rest and digest. Right, the fight, flight, freeze. Tomo, mama, topai, no, ta. Maui, Maui, Sit up, I no more vitanai. Titamai. 3 actions we will take during waxing moon to help take us closer to our vision are. Come on. 1, morning. 2, daily. 3, evening. All of them to self-care and nurturing moon zodiac circular system routine. No, we don't do that fully yet, we don't think. But I think on levels that we don't understand, we do as well, don't we? We need to print out our lists of each of them, don't we? We got till 31st. We got to whenever we want, my darlings. What's easy for us in our own time, yeah? When all of us are ready and it's not stressful. But remember, what did we say? We don't have to do it like we normal do it. We can just print off a table and laminate it and write it as we go and just put them on walls so we know what to do, all of us. Well done. That's in black. What's on back? Ah, red. Circle in black, coloured in red. Health. We not read that. So, teeth, clothes, dishes. Washing. Health, washing, teeth, clothes, dishes, / shopping. Black circle coloured in brown, number 2. Domestic, / hygiene, semicolon, tidy, / clean, / sort. Black circle coloured in green, 1. Shintos, that's us. Personal, / relationships, / collective. Black circle, orange coloured in. Laminating. Some of it all scribbled out, see? We find hard read anyway, let alone when not there, but tested our memory. Laminating. Book. What's that? book list / printing list / spirit science. Thank you, spirit science. You help us massively. Black circle coloured in yellow. Start. It's come off, but it's come off in lines, and it reminds us of the lines that the little candle lanterns made that we hung in our van, and when van drove it moved and the lanterns made marks in places. Start something that ends in ing. Paperwork. Could be sorting or tidying or organising paperwork, couldn't it? We've done some of that because that's not around the place anymore, haven't we done? Wow. Yeah. I know we're not comfortable doing this like this, but it's obviously what's meant to happen because we constantly meditate on everyone's highest good. So we're all good, my lovelies. We're in a safe space, okay? Black circle, green coloured in. Storage / hard drive space on technology in organic consciousness technology. Black circle, blue. Start understanding social media. That's our next 108-day challenge when this one ends. Not use Facebook. Black circle, indigo coloured in. Bank statements / budget / spreadsheets. We start that. We tried, couldn't do very well, but no, all possible. Now get a CAB help. Well done. Then we'll get our accountancy brain back, eh? And now we think they're easy stuff as well to do it. We got to put on phone help budget. Yeah, we just got to figure out how to use them all, don't we? Yeah. Black circle, purple. Bitcoin / Ethereum / Bitcoin Cash / Litecoin / altcoins. God, they make you so happy, don't they? I wish I understood it like you do. Black circle, pink. 1 something that ends in VE. One self. That's an F. One something / sync semicolon creating space. We always create lovely space. We live in beautiful healing space. Then lots of bits of dark brown and light brown. Seed is side corner, personal health. Yeah. Purple. 3 things we commit to doing over the next 3 months. This was our June solstice. Just a noise outside, lovelies. It's okay. You okay? Yeah. Not in here. No, we're fine. Okay. We won the cards of that lady, tarot lady. Which cards, goddess oracle cards, which bay, which tarot, journal, write them in. Hidden Truth Tarot. Thank you, Taria. 3 things we commit to doing over the next 3 months before autumn equinox. 1. Establish healthy boundaries and balance in all our bodies. Needs, nurturing, house, garden, self-care. 2. This Cancer Solstice retreat weekend, all again on next Cancer new moon, Friday 17th of July. Monday 20th evening is new moon. Did we do that? I think so. 3. Establish and embed self-care, nurturing, clear, honest, healthy, impeccable internal self-dialogue and communication with all of us. It's heavy. That better? Yeah. Have we done that? I think we've done it to best of our ability. You just don't understand it yet. Yeah, because we understand speak, don't we, in words and language. Well, we don't even understand that very well, but that's our limited thing, isn't it? Yeah, but you get better at surrendering to us and what we need to do to heal you. Us. Blue. 3 ways we will step forwards into who we are here to be. 1. Knowing, accepting the present moment is most important, and dancing with it best we can. Welcoming, nurturing, accepting lower vibrations when happen. 2. Continue to be open and honest with all of us and master co-consciousness. 3. Master control over our body and full connection of our heart. Green at the bottom. Our intention for second half of 2020. To just be and fully learn and master self-care and nurturing. Don't think we're fully done it all, but that's what this next year is going to be all about. We've laid the foundations and that's what matters. Cloaked in mystery and magic, the tarot is more than a mere card game or parlour trick. In fact, the symbolism of this mysterious set of cards dives deeply into the realm of human consciousness and experience, revealing patterns of both the past, present, and probable future. The major arcana meanings in particular echo important aspects of the human experience, shedding light onto the many stages of spiritual development. Divided into two separate arcana, the tarot tells the story of human experience using archetypal symbolism, numerology, and elemental meanings. The major arcana, in particular, speaks to what Carl Jung termed the universal subconscious. Each of the 22 cards symbolizes a different portion of the psyche, leading the querent on a spiritual journey. From division to wholeness. On the path of the major arcana, the seeker faces various trials and tribulations, which eventually lead to understanding and individuation. Yeah, we're doing it. Man, you know my time. Bye. No, you know. The story and meaning of the major arcana. Many beginning tarot enthusiasts are overwhelmed by the imagery and seemingly mysterious nature of the symbolism of the major arcana. Each of the 22 cards is packed with angelic figures, glyphs, and characters that can both inspire and unsettle the reader. Yet, if one approaches the tarot as a storyline, with the Fool as the central character, the mystery begins to reveal itself. Are we okay? Do we need to stop? No, this needs to be done. Not in a forced way, but for a connection way. We all okay. We're expressing the pain now so it's not as physically painful. Looks worse than it is, probably. Whereas before we were worse. We just hid it all. So it looks like we're worse now, but we're actually better now than we were before. Okay, thank you for sharing that. The Fool's Journey, the Major Arcana explained. Beginning with the number 0, the first character we will meet and follow throughout the Major Arcana is the Carefree Fool. He appears in many decks, clothed in a white tunic, flower in hand, and feet dangerously close to the precipice. On the surface, that's the edge, the edge, the edge, the edge of the cliff. On the surface, we're not apologising for what needed to be done to make us feel better, so if that upset you, get over it. Our ego is literally a child state ego for empowerment and play. So please embrace it for what it is, not what you interpret it to be of an adult ego. Potentially could interpret it or assume it to be. On the surface, the fool appears unaware and dim. But in the tarot, his actions and personality take on a different light. With the fool, we have the point between points, the power of the present moment. He is unaware and thusly unafraid to face the perilous journey before him. It is the fool's innocence and openness that make the adventure possible. And if you want to meditate on the tarot cards, it's the Mystery Teachings. And this looks like it's from The Fool, A Journey of Self-Discovery, Series 4, Episode 1, 30 minutes. The first 2 characters he encounters are the Magician and the High Priestess. The energetic divine feminine consciousness priestess and energetic divine masculine consciousness, the magician. Can't see it, but it's there. The magician represents pure, dynamic masculine energy and a willingness to project oneself out into the world. This is a card of harnessing one's abilities towards the alchemical transformation of self or experience. The High Priestess, on the other hand, represents the pure feminine energy of incubation and arcane knowledge. Thank you, Arcane Bear, and your flute. Tianamo, Chitapano. She sits patiently at the gates of Solomon's temple, guarding the secrets of divine power. The High Priestess embodies the mysterious element of femininity and intuition, the intangible yet powerful forces that explore the realms of magic. Now, that the fool has met his own personal masculine and feminine aspects. He meets the external embodiment of these characters. The Empress and the Emperor, they the physical, three-dimensional, birthing the divine feminine consciousness into physical reality, feminine energy, and divine masculine consciousness into the physical masculine energy. We like this game, we're getting it right lots, we're having lots of good releases. Yay! Our digital diary, rainbow photos, rainbow files, that we're going to print off everything that we've been doing and put it in there. I'm glad we're all getting on board of this energetic train, guys. At our own pace, in our own time, in our own space. La-di-da-di-da. The Empress and the Emperor can be approached as the parents of the fool, the earthly counterparts of the magician and the high priestess. As the mother of the fool, the Empress is loving, abundant and giving. She is the feminine provider who feeds and nurtures her subjects. But she's inside the fool because we have to find our own mother and our own father from within inside of us. That's right. Not that there's a right or wrong, but that's aligned. Well done. Oh God, we've still got a lot to learn for language, haven't we? But that's okay, because we're going to make it fun, fun, fun. The Emperor holds the energy of the father, creating firm foundations and boundaries in the external world. He protects his realm, building walls to encase the softness of the Empress. You may have to knock a few walls down though to start building better walls. If you've got a cowboy, build a house of a body. These parental figures instill their knowledge on the young fool, defining his ideas of boundaries and security. No. Slowly, softly, gently. But the fool must leave the safety of home. So next, he encounters the dogma and structured world of the Hierophant. Here, knowledge is passed down from heaven to earth through the lens of hierarchy and teaching, with a strong emphasis on religious institutions. Catholic Church sexual abuse needs to be cleared. Can't do it on our own. People join this channel, please, and support us in doing part process. Next, the fool learns the power of choice, symbolised by the Lover's card. It is the first instant where the fool begins to realise that his future is in his own hands, and that his decisions will shape his path. Now that the fool has been educated, he must take this knowledge and apply it to the real world. The chariot is his graduation. Cancer! Cancer full moon! 30th! 30th, the end, closing of the 12/12 portal! Cancer! Eclipse full moon! January the 10th, 2020! 1001 2020 10 mirror of 01 2020 double of 1 double 11 master builder number or master for number of service 22 master the number of service master builder number 22 is the number of intuition. 11's the number of individuality. We move into 11 when our legal documents come back with our name change. That's when we started our sound meditation in collective consciousness, external reality world, online group. Then we ended up in the psych ward. We started our personal internal reality meditations on the 11th of the 11th, 2019. Oh, Mortano, ma. The chariot is his graduation, a sign that he has the necessary knowledge to embark upon the adventure. From here, he meets his first challenge. The awakening of the lion, the awakening of our Leo rising ascendant, our North Node, our purpose. The opposite of our double sun and moon, sun external world, moon internal world, and South Node, our past karma. Strength. Number 8 or number 11 in the tarot. Ha 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 ha, we're coming from a number 8 of our birth given name. Oh my God, what are you like? Strength. The fool must overcome his base qualities by realizing that mind over matter is at times the best solution to a problem. From the trial of strength, the fool is thrown into the introspective world of the hermit. Alone with his own thoughts and removed from the world, the fool realizes that life is in some ways a game to be played. The wheel of fortune exhausting. It's a glimpse of us. Hi. The wheel of fortune appears next, as if the knowledge acquired by the hermit is suddenly manifest. Life is a series of riddles and twisting turns, moved by both fate and choice. Our number 1 value, choice. Thank you, network training, for gaining those insights back in 2011. 9 years ago. 9, completion in the physical reality world. Life is a series of riddles and twisting turns, moving by both fate and choice, where one day, the time of the mind, of expression, communication, where one day things are up and the next day they are down. The fool comes to terms with this wild ride through the assumptions of the justice card, number 11, or number 8 in the cards, where decisions are measured and enacted through a fair trial. But often enough, life is not so black and white. Soon, the fool finds himself in the quandary of the hanged man, suspended between two worlds in order to find a new perspective. Because then the new perceptions come. That's right, my lovelies. It is from this discomfort that he realizes that what he once took as blind truth is in fact the beliefs and ideas of his former teachers. The death card appears to free him from these falsehoods, clearing away the words of the emperor, empress, a hierophant, and even the child the fool once was. Yeah. So you go through the cards from the beginning to the end, they just said. And when you go through the cards from the beginning to the end, you're doing the external world. And then when you go backwards through the cards, you're doing the internal world. And then you do the start to the end again, and you're going forwards through the internal world rather than backwards through the internal world. And then you can go backwards to the start, going backwards through the external world. I was going to say that's kind of where we're at, but we're not. We're on lots of different of the planes because we're not linear. No one's really linear, but a majority of people are comfortable functioning in linear. We're not because of the DID and the trauma, but that is what life is about. It's about what is one of the expressions, being human is to suffer. Being human is to transcend suffering. Because you can only experience as much of the light, pure creation, as you can experience the equivalent of the dark, pure potential. It is from the discomfort that he realizes that what he once took as blind truth is in fact the beliefs and ideas of his former teachers. The death card appears to free him from these falsehoods, clearing away the words of the emperor, empress, hierophant, and even the child the fool once was. The fool is forever changed by this experience, and his new understanding is embodied by the angel of the temperance card. Number 14, the number of moderation. 1441 backwards. They say life begins at 40. Our trauma majorly happened like the big ones at 4. 41, we'll have moderation under control. We're 41 in February. And we're not having our birthday in the psych ward this year. The fool is forever changed by this experience. We didn't belong in the psych ward. The systems just don't understand DID or Ehlers-Danlos syndrome or autism. There's a lot they don't understand, actually. But all the information's out there now if you want to choose to believe it or not. We suggest that if you don't want to believe it or not believe it, just be open-minded and give it a go. You don't have to believe in something to get something from it. Considering we've come from the see it to believe it world. The fool is forever changed by this experience, and his new understanding is embodied by the angel of the temperance card. Here, we have a deeper spiritual understanding where emotion is regulated and a middle path is forged between extremes. Thank you, foolish fish, your middle temple pole, which is also the Sushuma to Taino. Yeah, well done, my lovely. You are so smart. Well done. But with this newfound clarity, the hidden blind spots within the fool himself are revealed, taking shape as the devil. Number 15, that's the date of the day of our birthday. Capricorn, say no more. Emerging from the darkness, the devil speaks to the unconscious urges of the psyche, which manifest as addiction and attachment. But they we don't, negative connotation words. Addiction is just a lack of connection. Don't give things up. Add good things too. Add things that bring you happiness and joy. And then the rest will start falling away. We live in proof. We're doing it. Yes, you are, aren't you? Yes, we are. Fuck me, we've done fantastic. No, don't fuck me. It's an expression. Yeah, we know. Not a very good expression, is it? No. Luckily, this level of tension and manipulation is short-lived, released by the shock and awe of the tower. Did Mumble? Yeah, and we didn't quite know what was going on. And we were under threat, which you would be if you come round to 8 people restraining you when you've lost however many stone within however many weeks because you haven't eaten and couldn't drink. But we needed that because we didn't need surgery, because surgery is what's caused the extra pain with the faulty healing because of the malfunction of the collagen protein with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. We've had an operation on our jaw and a scar on our toe. So we needed to have fascia ripped apart, and that's what that episode was about. But yeah, so I vaguely remember being co-conscious and remembering it's just like, get us out of here, and just being on the window wanting to get out of here. And there was the constant thing because our humanitarian aid work involves container units. Arcane bear, so there was a polar bear on one of the container units, so it brought in triggered the networks of the humanitarian aid worker Arcane Bear, which is one of our Bitcoin YouTubers. He didn't have a polar bear. God, I dread to go back for all the messages that they've sent and done. God. But there's so there's all kind of stories and scenarios that the younger ones create, and then the older ones question to then navigate the inner truth and the outer truth to what aligns. And there was some scaffolding. And so it would have been the Aquarius new moon. That was a trigger. I don't know what day that was on. And then we had another big trigger. We did actually call our brother. I don't know what went on. Maybe that was a trigger too. So there was obviously loads of triggers. And this was in the process when we kept kind of having baths in the middle of the night, and then one of them hacked off the dreads, and then we kept standing on dreads, and they were like, kept thinking there were snakes. And the shower cord that was short suddenly just pulled out and kept pulling out, and suddenly was really long and touched the floor. And then that's when we kept dying in the bath. But also there was these drowning things where we couldn't breathe because of the way the central nervous system's all wired itself and everything. Yeah, and then the going out naked around the village. We left in our dressing gown because the younger Walters had created a story that our first love had bought our van Yinny that we'd made ourselves, that we lived in with our black cat Dakota, which he hadn't, but we didn't know that. But we went out in our dressing gown with one of our £40 sound healing Koshi wind chimes, a load of our crystals, on the edge book, because it's all in the words and stuff to what aligns the Native American Indian white mind thing. But we had to take off our dressing gown and be naked, and it was a straight line, and of course we were stuck in the in between states, eyes wide open but couldn't really see, so the linear world didn't function. So although we walked down a straight line, I think, to get to the van, I'm not sure, we couldn't get back home from the straight line. So when we got to the van and the van wasn't there, which wasn't far, you're talking like 6 houses, a lane, you're talking a minute's walk, or 5, depending how slow you go. But the van wasn't there, so that triggered us. So then they followed. So this is obviously from in the past, when we've been intoxicated and in these states, there's a lot of awareness. We would follow the white line down the middle of the road. So we were following the white line down the middle of the road to get to these fielded areas where we know someone that lives there that used to have parties. So these were the brain networks that were happening at the time. But that route got interrupted by a jogger. So then we got triggered even more into more trauma states. Yeah, and then we'll stop there. But yeah, God, where were we? Where did that all come from? Oh yeah, the tower. Oh yeah, the tower. So we had the Leo full moon. So Leo's our rising, the opposite to our Aquarius sun and moon, our destination, they call it. So it was the Leo full moon when we were inside. We keep thinking it was on the 13th, but I do believe it was actually on the 9th of February. And it was the early hours of the 5th of February that we got admitted, because we thought it was the early hours of the 4th, but we completely lost like 24 hours. That's when we were messaging, reading out the Urban Shaman book to a Maori friend, messaging him, but then that stopped. And then the date that they say that we went into the psych world was the 5th. So a whole period really completely blacked out. And so it's the 9th, and we got out on the 18th. We got ourselves out in 2 weeks. We were the only one in there sectioned under Act 2, the most rational, sanest, self-healing, self-responsible, self-accountable person in there, but the only one sectioned. Apparently, we're meant to attempt to try and sleep when they're shining a torch through the window every hour or something, and you jolt up because the body's reactive and you're in a completely primal, old brain, cerebellum, fight, flight response mechanism. Oh, there's so many things that this mental health system needs to change, and we will give them the information for them and solutions for them to be able to choose to do that or not. Because at the moment they say they're doing stuff for the patient, it's person-centered, and it's bollocks, is it? It's, at the end of the day, teaching and systems is all paperwork, and priority is paperwork and to get the paperwork ticked off. And that's why there's so many people suffering stress, and all these amazing, beautiful people in the NHS system, in the mental health systems, in all these systems that want to do stuff for people but can't, because they've got to provide this paperwork and government and stuff for the government to show they're doing things right. And then there becomes this dissonance and this incoherent lack of organisation, and people that maybe put down and say they've done something when actually they haven't. And I know that happens because I've got my medical records back on certain things. But we're not going into that now because there's emotion in it, and we don't want the emotion to get interpreted wrongly. And this is what drives our passion, to be able to provide our experience with what people might presume as complaints, but it's our experiences that are a lot of negative, with the solutions to go with them, to be able to choose to tweak and make the systems better so it does serve everyone's highest good. So yeah, there was scaffolding around this wee tower, and just above it was this big, beautiful Leo full moon. And they were like, we need to break out of here, and we need to go over there, and we go from that pillar because it looks like there's a little bag down there. It wasn't a bag, I think it was a rumble of rocks or something. And then you go to the next pillar, and then the next pillar, and then you will climb up the scaffolding and sit down the scaffolding at the top and get the Leo full moon energies, and we'll be free. So there's a lot of different metaphorical stories related to, connected into inner world and outer world experiences and stories of wanting to get out of there. Because we thought we needed to be at home in a familiar environment. But we then realised, especially when the two people left in our life still didn't have belief in us, and agreed with the systems and wanted us to take more medication. And it was the medication that gave us the seizures. It was then the medication that made us lose another however many days to come round to however many people were straining. We haven't had the courage and the confidence to get our paperwork back from... They started signing it when we were in there. We had amazing... There were a couple of people in there that were amazing. 3 or 4 that were amazing, but the night shift manager particularly. But we had a realization about him. He had the same name as our first love. So when he would come in at the start of his shift, we'd have great chats about our books and everything. And then he would leave, and for hours afterwards, we'd be like in this state. And then I made the connection that he's got the same name as our first love, and kind of had similar personality traits and similar looks as well. So there were a lot of triggers happening. And we told him this. And of course, then he stopped coming in, which if we were in his position, we would do too. But from our side of things, we got very upset then because we'd been abandoned and rejected by someone else again, because we enjoyed the conversations that were being had, but it wasn't healthy. They weren't healthy dynamics of conversations because of what it was doing to us. We basically just needed some respite, and we needed some cooking, and we needed some cleaning. But we needed to be fed the medication. Again, we figured out how much to take for it to be safe. and said to them, this will flip us, it will send us over the edge. I hope we can get back from it, because from what I've just experienced, especially over the last 4 years, but in the psych ward, I was quite terrified I was going to get locked in my mind and not come out again. And then I realised, like usual, we'd got things backwards. And the most important thing wasn't to come home to a familiar environment, but to stand strong as a mountain in my own truth and knowing and self-belief of the many things that we are so capable of, that all the experiences that we've done in our life so far have proven to us, and that we can survive this too, and to refuse any more medication, which we did. We eventually persuaded them to allow us to have our essential oils, our tuning forks, our yoga stuff, our books. And then, wow, it took us, I don't know from that date when that came in, but if we were in there for 2 weeks, it must have been probably 10 days, because 10's the number, one of the numbers at the moment. Yeah, it took us probably about a week to 10 days to get ourselves out and to, like we've done our whole life, be the person that's needed in that moment to harmonize and balance the dissonant and the harmonic frequencies within the whole of the environment that we're in to make us feel okay. Of course, then we don't actually know who we are, but now we're home and our awareness and our clarity's ticked in. We get to travel that journey to actually find out who we are for once and for all, in a safe space, in a very beautiful, healing, creative, fun, safe space that we've made. Boy, we're amazing. And one of the things that we also went through with the energy is, and with Scar, and then people describe it like a lightning bolt of energy hitting the tower and the crown comes off. But this is the physical pain that we've actually experienced in our nervous system and the jolts. And you see now we just flow with the ebb and flow and the movement, and you see the twitching and the spasming and all kinds of things as the body does what it does. But before, when there was so much more rigidity in the physical body that's manifested over our whole life, we had our back injury when we were 15, so that's 25 years and longer of all this stuff, like wiring it in the body into the physical body. I think we've done fantastically to provide a beautiful, bubbly, happy, smiley face to everyone and not project our darkness onto anyone. And then when we're more vulnerable, physically and mentally vulnerable than people, and we accidentally, unconsciously, subconsciously do project our darkness onto people, but of a fraction of the level of what it is, we get rejected and abandoned. And there's hurt and there's pain there for us to navigate through, but we will. And there's no blame to anyone. We understand why people did what they did and had to do, and we've learned from it. And we're still learning from it. I don't think we'll be able to have any of them back in our life for a while, though, if ever. Hopefully, maybe, I don't know. We say hopefully because we thought we'd found our sense of community and we had so much love for some of these people. And we still do, but it's a different, healthy type of love now. It's not a love where we need them in our life. So yeah, the tower moment and the lightning bolt, when we do are able, well, we'll show it on Christmas Day when we start it, I think. Each of the altars have been allowed to buy their own Christmas presents. So we've got loads of different types of journals going on. So we'll go through them and they'll go through them and show them, I think, on Christmas Day, so that we're connecting on Christmas Day, because we've always found Christmas and stuff hard around those times. And then with our next challenge of cutting out Facebook, that will grow up some of the younger ones, and the younger ones will have to focus their direction and their attention elsewhere, which will normally go into resistance, which will be us laying on the floor, panting, breathing, just doing whatever, sounding, until a shift takes place, and then whatever's meant to happen in that moment will happen in that moment. And those, I think it's going to be a collective of all that we've done so far, our messages on social media, direct messages and private stuff. We'll change, obviously, everyone's name so other people won't get involved unless they want to be. And the stuff that's then produced in the journals, because when I look back in the journal that we've done already, it's just so diverse. From, I mean, when we did our first sound healing training, teacher training, for us as a teacher, the teacher is the one that is responsible for the work given to them. The teacher doesn't say to the student, please don't do it in this way because I find it hard to interpret and hard to read. It's the teacher's responsibility to educate themselves and make themselves aware so that they can accommodate the one that's more vulnerable that they're teaching. So yeah, we had a set template of how we did things so that we could structure it correctly, and then we added stuff in, but that wasn't suitable because of the teacher, because bless them, they were dyslexic. A very beautiful person, very creative, talented, gifted person as well. We learned a lot from them, but now we have this structured way of doing things. Or we had this structured way of doing things, a security blanket, I suppose, so that we could actually do the stuff we found really hard. But we don't have that anymore. And the structure of the organisation's gone completely out the window in that format anyway, which is good in some aspects. Well, no, it's good in all aspects. We're just still navigating it. So yeah, it's going to be quite a interesting, it's going to be a fascinating, interesting, I suppose it's an autobiography, isn't it, of our experiences and our journey in written form to the best of our written form ability. I mean, after the seizures, you had the alters that were writing backwards with their left hand when we're right-handed, and we couldn't walk forwards. When we tried to walk forwards, we walked backwards. Although we figured out a pattern of walking forwards, we had to walk forwards, but it'd be in spirals. And then to get out the actual door to leave our safe space, wow, there's loads, but we don't need to go into it now. So yeah, there we go. With a lightning bolt, do we need to read anything on that bit to refresh our memory? Released by the shock and awe of the tower. 16 is the number of tower and 16 is the number of rebirth, made of 1 new beginnings and 6 unconditional love, together equaling 7 self-growth, self-development, personal growth, personal development. And when we start our 108-day challenge, no Facebook, we will be occupied in our new garden, growing our own food. And as we grow our own foods from seedlings and watch them grow, we'll grow too. Yeah, we will, won't we? With a lightning bolt from heaven, the walls of the fool's inner world crumble, allowing for the growth and renewal of the star. We're a double star, Sun and Moon Aquarius. Very symbolic because they're naked. She's naked as well in the cards. Before the psych ward as well, our fascia, connective tissue on our scar, head injury, all started ripping apart. So that back left quadrant of the brain was starting to be completely ripped apart. So no wonder there's all kind of perceived, external, objective perceived chaos going on. We will change the system from the inside out, because that's how we change the system. If you want to see what external around you and the systems and the government's changing, you need to start by changing your inner world and being the change that you want to see. Let's start with quantum ripple effect. Be the change you want to see in the world. Oh, you lovelies. The star is one of the most magical and hopeful moments on the fool's journey, where healthy new ideas are planted and divine assistance flows freely from heaven. Yet, this level of transcendence still has its own shadow. The profound and psychic moon appears, number 18, reminding the fool of all that is uncontrollable and mysterious. The moon moves the tides of the ocean and the cycles of women, causing both the wild wolf and the tame dog to howl. Thank you, Women Who Run with Wolves. That's an amazing book we're reading on here for us as well at the moment. But night does not last forever, and the fool's journey is also nearing its end. The sun rises once more. Number 19, the number of pride. Made of 1 new beginnings, 9 physical completion in the physical world, completion in the physical world, equaling 10 karmic completion in the energetic world, equaling 1, a fresh new start. The sun rises once more, and with it comes the promise of homecoming and return. The fool finds himself at the gates of his ancestral castle, ready to reveal all that he has learned during his travels. The judgment card is that revelation where anything left unsaid is dealt with and the final inner work is completed. The world represents the end of this journey, while also hinting at the cycle that is yet to come. This is one of the deepest aspects of the wisdom that the tarot holds. Life is an endless circle. Oh, a circle with a twist in infinity, or 8. Hope you're eating up this knowledge beautifully. Wisdom, our experiences of life, and this. This is one of the deepest aspects of the wisdom that the tarot holds. Life is an endless circle, a chance to learn and grow through experience. As long as we inhabit bodies on the earth plane, there will be lessons to discover and conquer. Luckily, there are tools such as the tarot to help us understand ourselves, the world around us, and how best to thrive on our own archetypal journey. Oh. And yeah, we'll be creating our own course, which the first part of it, a few units, will be free up until number 3. Yeah, to share with people, because no one deserves to suffer pain. Namaste. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.